In this video, I'm going to share with you some ideas about how to improve the rhythm and timing of your golf swing. Throughout the entire video, I'm going to be wearing the HackMotion wrist sensor, and inside the app, it's going to measure your tempo, and you're going to be able to see if you fall within or outside of the guideline parameters. So let's start at the very beginning of the swing. I call the setup position 1, P1, and as I set up to the ball, one of the things that I think can help you to develop better rhythm is the sense that you stand to the ball with a little bit of a dynamic nature, meaning you're not static. You're not completely locked solid in this stationary position, ready to go and start swinging. If you are, you'll find that you tend to snatch the club away from the ball in a very abrupt fashion. That can lead to poor sequencing and certainly poor balance and rhythm. So you'll see in the best players how they move into the ball. They tend to waggle the club, and their feet are just moving very slightly but very certainly on the spot. They keep moving. There's a sense of having some dynamic nature to this as they're about to pull the trigger. So the first thing you want to make sure you're doing is you're able to move and have some flow and some rhythm there at setup once you're over the ball. The second thing I'd tell you to make sure you can do and practice, and this is a lot harder than it might look, is to balance, hold a balanced finish. Hold the follow through in place until the ball's landed. That would be a useful checkpoint that I would use, especially if someone's practicing at the driving range. Hit your shots and hold your finish until the ball has landed. Moving nice and flowy at P1. We've got some motion there in my feet, waggling the club. Hold the finish until the ball's landed. You'd be surprised, as I say, how hard that is for a lot of golfers to do. And if you aren't able to hold your balance, then you're really swinging out of balance, out of rhythm, out of tempo, and out of sequence. So that's going to really help you. You'll see if you look at the HackMotion data on both of those swings, I fell within the range of good tempo. And that's because expert players, people who look very effortless when they swing, tend to have developed a good rhythm and a good tempo. Poor rhythm and tempo would generally fall on either side of a spectrum of either being too fast or too slow. Meaning I see a lot of golfers who would actually make a really slow backswing in an attempt to have some control, and yet they'd very clearly fall outside of the guidelines. Golfers going too slow or being too controlled in the backswing certainly not going to help you. And equally the opposite can be true, that the person who snatches the club away at takeaway, everything moves too quickly. And again, wrong side of the boundaries of the parameters that are within the HackMotion app. So you can train using this sensor to help you develop better rhythm. There's a couple of other drills that I'd like to share with you that I also find are very, very helpful for developing better rhythm, timing, and sequencing. The first one would be to help you with a step drill, a version of the step drill where you would start with your feet together. You'd move the club towards the target, a small little push towards the target. And as the club's moving forward, the trail foot's going to move back. So we're going to go forward, back. The club's going to move into its backswing position. As I'm doing that, the lead leg's then going to land forwards, and then I'm going to swing. This might take you a couple of goes to get to begin with. It can be a little bit tricky to coordinate, but once you get it, it gives you a really nice sense of that flow that I was talking about right at the beginning of this video. The motion and the constant movement that you're going to want in your swing. So we'd start with the club above the ball or just in front of the ball, feet together, club towards the target, trail foot back, lead foot forward, and swing. That's what I would call the step drill. Something that can really improve the sequencing and the flow of your golf swing. Once again, all of my numbers there fell well within the range of good rhythm and good control. So that's the step drill. That's one that I would challenge you to start to do even without the ball. Doing it with the ball immediately, as I say, can be a little tricky to coordinate, but you could start with your feet together, club just above the ground, push the club forward, trail foot back, lead foot forward, and swing through. And once again, trying to establish that nice follow-through position where you're balanced and able to hold your finish. Quick question for you. Did you know that 80% of your golf ball's direction comes from the club face angle at impact? And it's your wrists that control that angle. If you want to hit straighter shots and add more distance to your game, then check out the link in the description below. Final one for me on this would be to line up a few balls next to each other and just go ahead and try and hit them without stopping. You may have seen this drill or version of this drill performed by different players. This one's certainly been around for a while. If I put 4, maybe even 5 balls here next to each other, just slightly apart, and the goal here would be as I start to swing, I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to come back down, I'm going to hit the next ball. This is another version, if you like, of the step drill, developing that flow, helping you to understand how this club and the body are in constant motion. So let's go ahead and hit these 5. We're going to start with ball 1. Keep coming, keep the club in motion, keep the club in motion, keep the club in motion, and one more, and hold the finish. Those are some ideas that you can implement into your next practice session to help you to start developing better rhythm and better timing into your swing. Ultimately understanding that you need to have a very good grasp of the first part of the swing, the setup, and then how that looks at the end can help you to have the middle part of your swing more consistent and more able to repeat. I hope you found that useful. There's certainly some ideas in there that can help you to train better rhythm and tempo. The HackMotion app can also help you on your way with the feedback that you'll get from using this device when you practice. If you'd like to learn more about the HackMotion wrist sensor and watch other training videos, you can click on the link in the description of this video, which will take you to further HackMotion training videos.